Alright, this is John Cole with OKRAW.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. Man, I don't really like to usually critique or talk about other people's videos, OPVs, on YouTube. I kind of like to just do my own thing and kind of teach you guys like thoughts that come in my head and things that I'm working in the garden and things that I think that are important for me to share with you based on like my experiences and what I've seen in life, right? But this is a rant style video, and I know some of you guys like that, some of you guys don't. I just want to actually go over a video that was posted by a prominent plant-based doctor, Dr. Michael Gregor. You know, I have his book. I listened to it on audiobook, How Not to Die. I think it's an amazing book, and I appreciate Dr. Gregor's work. He does so many cool things, but you know, just like anything in life, there's nobody that you're ever going to agree with 100%. I'm still looking for my special someone that I could find that'll agree with me 100% on everything. I mean, let's face reality, I don't think that's ever going to happen. And whether you have your boyfriend or your girlfriend, there's always going to be something, even so small, that you disagree with. And you know, in this case, I definitely strongly disagree with, well, more than one Dr. Gregor's videos. I swear, I think he kind of like goes and checks out my channel, and then he like makes videos against the things that I actually like to promote, right? One of my favorite foods in the world is coconuts. Another favorite thing that I like to do, and I do sell juicers, is I like to drink the juice. And so he has a video basically against juicing, which I get it, you know, there's some ways that juicing is not so good, but there's plenty of ways, and for plenty of people, juicing is far better than what many people are eating otherwise. And so I had a rebuttal video. I'll post links to his, you know, anti-juicing video where he just kind of is pulling at straws, in my opinion. And then I have a video, you know, where I talk about some of the reasons why I think, and, you know, relating it to published scientific journal documents, why I think it can be helpful and beneficial for most people. But in this case, he recently posted a video on coconut water, and the title was something like, coconut water compared to sports drinks and water, regular water, you know, for athletic performance. And so that was his more myopic or small scale, like, okay, so his conclusion was that if you want to drink coconut water for athletic performance, you're fooling yourself. But then I have a few problems with this, right? Number one, to me, the way the video was portrayed almost makes it seem to me that he's like against coconut water. Now, no, I'm not going to cap on Dr. Gregor here, but I mean, he doesn't live in like the Pacific Islands or like in a tropical place where coconuts grow on trees, and he probably hasn't had a whole lot of experience with them. You know, I've traveled to places where coconuts grow. I've visited farms. My friends, they have coconut trees, and that is their preferred beverage of choice in the tropics where it's really hot and you're sweating all the time. I think he lives somewhere in Boston or something where it's probably cold all year, right? Furthermore, I live in the desert, and you need to stay hydrated with some kind of beverage, whether that's juices, coconut water, and you know, in my life, there's always good, better, best. But unfortunately, in Dr. Gregor's video, there seems to be like this right, wrong. Okay, coconut water, it's either good or it's bad. What do you choose? You can only have two choices, right? And that's not what I want to teach you guys on my channel. I want to teach you guys good, better, best, right? And, you know, I think it's really sad when somebody will watch a Dr. Gregor video, and there's plenty of Dr. Gregor videos that I would agree with, that I think he's on point with, but this one, I think he's very off point, and it wants me to bring up this, and it wanted me to make this topic for you guys, is that I don't want you guys to focus your life around any one video or make any drastic changes in your life based on one video, right? I want you guys to be smart about things, right? As much as I share my knowledge and what I've learned and what has worked for me on my channel, I'm not going to say it's going to work for anybody else. In many cases, I reference scientific studies, and it's just, you know, a lot of the ideas I share are generally thought of as truth. That being said, do your own research, right? Just because I said it doesn't mean it's true, right? What I say works for me. It's what I like to spread because I think it can help so many people. And so that's point number one, right? Point number two is try to think in more than just black and white. Coconut water is good, coconut water is bad. That only gives you two choices. And if you think it's bad, then you think it's a waste of money and it's no good. I think that's kind of sad because I think you're missing out on a beneficial plant food that is basically an honorary fruit, or actually it's a drupe. So actually this is what I'm talking about today. I'll talk about the coconut as it comes in the husk. Now this is an older version that I actually harvested myself and brought back on one of my recent trips. I probably should be drinking this soon. But the coconut, if you guys understand how the coconut is made, basically it grows on a tree, it drops down, the whole husk is basically buoyant, so it can drop in the ocean, float across the water for months, and then land on a beach, and then basically sprout and grow another coconut palm, which is amazing. And there are properties inside this water, right, that allow the seed of the coconut to grow, right? It's like electrolytes or minerals or trace minerals that are in there. In addition, there's things like enzymes and antioxidants that are in there. There's plant cytokines that basically are anti-aging for the coconut, so that as it's making its voyage across the ocean, it doesn't expire, right? And I believe that in every plant food, whether that's the longevity spinach behind me, the peppers right behind me, right? In every plant food, there's a spectrum of different vitamins and minerals, and more importantly, these phytonutrients, both discovered and undiscovered, that can benefit your health, right? And if you don't drink coconut water, right, this depends, you're gonna miss out on either a little bit or a lot of the benefits, and it depends on how you drink your coconut water. So, coconut right off the coconut palm, best way, because it's full of life, it has the life force energy, it has the enzymes, it has all the good stuff in there because it hasn't yet been processed. Except when you cut it open, and the first time you cut it open, you break the wall, that's when the coconut water in there has been exposed to the air, and it starts to oxidize. And if you guys buy that, HPP coconut water in the bottles, whether that's Harmless Harvest, the CO2 brand, or any other one, you'll notice that it started to turn pink, right? Why did it turn pink? Well, that's because that's the antioxidant response of the living coconut water because it hasn't been heat pasteurized. And that's basically, it's showing its colors, literally, because those are the antioxidants that are kind of like forming to protect the coconut water, because it still thinks it's in the coconut, and it needs to be that water there to let the seed germinate and grow until it gets established and the roots come out of the coconut, right? So, but on the other hand, right, if you buy like a packaged coconut water in a Tetra Pak, right, don't fool yourself. This stuff has been heat processed. In addition, most coconut waters that you buy in a package, whether that's in a bottle, a plastic bottle, a can, or a Tetra Pak, has been processed in some way. And so in this one, this is actually 100% coconut water, obrigido, never from concentrate. This is actually from Brazil. And for what it is, being a young green coconut water, it actually has lower sugar than most other ones. It actually is 100% coconut water with nothing added. Even some coconut waters that say 100% coconut water may add things like citric acid, may add things like fructose or fruit sugar, may add even coloring, may add coconut flavor, which I think is totally ridiculous. So if you guys do choose to drink packaged coconut water, make sure you get one and you read the label and it says 100% coconut water. Super important, so you know what you're getting. And then the other thing is, can you trust the company that's putting it in the bottle? Are they really putting coconut water in here? Are they putting like half coconut water and then half like tap water from Brazil? You don't really know, but I could tell you this, when I open a coconut and I could tell it's never been opened or anything before, and I pop a hole in it and I hear it go psst because it's under vacuum in there naturally, I know that nothing has been added to this coconut water, right? So my other point is that Dr. Gregors, the main study he relied on was they were using Vita Coco, which is number one, heat processed coconut water. So the results may not be the same as a fresh coconut water with living, enzymes and full of life force that has not been heat processed, okay? Now the other thing that seemed to me that was kind of like sad is, and it was the way he did the video, and this is just my opinions on this, I mean it may not be true or not, but I don't really know, but basically he said coconut water, right? It has potassium in it, right? So we know that. And then he said it has high potassium. It could cause a lot of health problems if you're one of the people that can't handle potassium. All right, I mean, I get it. What percentage of the population can't handle potassium? And the other thing is any food could cause an imbalance in the body if we eat too much of it. So as much as I love coconut water, right, I eat plenty of other foods in my day. I think I did run into some challenges one time when I basically fasted on coconuts when I was in the island of Culebra in Puerto Rico with my friend Kailash. Basically, we didn't bring any food with us because it's expensive on Culebra, and we decided we're just going to live on coconut water, coconut meat for like the weekend where we're there. And actually I started basically having loose stools, which is not good. And basically I believe I had some kind of electrolyte imbalance after trying to just live on coconut water for several days. So, you know, your body will let you know. But point taken, yeah, if you have issues, some kind of health issues, you might not be able to drink coconut water. But I think otherwise, you know, the high potassium values in the coconut water is actually beneficial. And why do I think this? Well, because inside us we have what's called a sodium-potassium pump, and that regulates fluids in and out of every cell in our body, right? And if the sodium-potassium pump has too much sodium, or not enough potassium, or too much potassium and not enough sodium, these cells are not going to be operating properly. And in plant foods, for the most part, most plant foods have a pretty good balance of sodium to potassium, meaning potassium is a lot more. But unfortunately, most Americans eat way too much sodium. That imbalances them. So in my opinion, and I'm not a doctor or anything like that, it'd probably be good to drink high potassium to balance out the high sodium foods you're eating, because it's a ratio, right? And yes, I agree with the fact that we should not be adding extra sodium and salting our foods up, right? So yeah, there's so many different ways to look at these kinds of things, and I want to go over actually my notes here real quick, because this video kind of upset me. It made me a little bit sad that it turned people off from drinking such an amazing beverage. So yeah, so some of the comments actually under the video, you know, a lot were just kind of neutral, and some people are saying, Gregor, you're off base here. But basically, some people would be like, made a comment like, sports drinks and coconut water are a waste of money. So like now people think coconut water is a waste of money because Gregor put out a video talking about just a handful of scientific studies to prove his point, right? Another person wrote, even the coconut water is a scam, not only the coconut oil. And this is based on, you know, Dr. Gregor's opinions and showing research to prove his points, in my opinion, right? And then other people just wrote, just drink water, folks, basically because Dr. Gregor said that water is no better than coconut water in this one instance of hydration for athletes, right? And I think this is sad when somebody shows something that it's not good for athletes. Now then you could just take that idea or concept and say it's not good for everybody and it's a waste of money and it's a scam, right? So I don't want you guys to live your lives on one single video. I want you guys to do your own research, whether that's you going to PubMed, I'll put links down below to PubMed, and doing searches on coconut water, and you guys could see all the data, all the research done on coconut water over the years. Number one, do your own research. And number two, do your own experiments. Experiment on yourself, right? You're free and clear to do that. Do it safely, please. I drink coconut water, and I've only had good experience with that. I feel great after I drink it. I feel that it is good for me. Even if part of that is actually placebo in my head, it is still meaning it works, even if part of it's placebo, because I think this is amazing water, and I'd rather drink, you know, some kind of like coconut water instead of like tap water, right? Tap water could have chemical contaminants and metals and minerals in forms that our bodies cannot assimilate because it doesn't have the right charge. I mean, literally, water from plants, whether it's, you know, heat pasteurized or whether it's from the fresh coconut, right? It has the right charge on the minerals so that our bodies can absorb them. Plus, there's other things in there besides the minerals, right? And we're not getting the chlorine, the chloramine, or the fluoride that's in tap water, right? So I want you guys to always try to do good, better, best. And yeah, try the coconut water, see how you feel. And try different kinds, you know? I mean, maybe you have like a pasteurized coconut water, you feel like crap, but then you have a more mature coconut water, tastes better for you. But then maybe you have a young coconut out of a coconut right off the tree when you're on vacation. And it's like, oh my God, this is the best coconut water I've ever tasted. I feel so energized. Because each different coconut water will treat you a little bit differently. So yeah, so the other thing that I want to say is that there's always going to be author bias, right? whether that's in the author who wrote the scientific study, because maybe the study was funded by an organization, whether declared or not, right? Maybe the people doing the study wanted to try to prove a certain point, and you could kind of fumble with the numbers, fumble with how you say it, and even draw a different conclusion based on the data, depending on what your motivation is. And so the authors of studies may be biased, which then that'll tilt this so-called scientific study. And I want to remind you guys that science is the study of nature. And all these scientific studies, while it is studying nature, it's studying nature in very convoluted, small, myopic areas, not like a whole big broad spectrum, you know. The other thing that is that besides the author bias in the study, there could be an author bias of the book you're reading or of the YouTube video. I could have an author bias, and you know, I want you guys to be wary of author biases, whether that's Dr. Gregor's author bias of him making videos and why is he showing this particular coconut study when I have, you know, 10 other coconut studies that I'll share with you guys in a real quick bit on some of the benefits of coconut water and why it is good for you, right? And the other thing besides author bias is the author could have an agenda, whether, you know, you have a plant-based agenda, whether that's an agenda to, like, you know, not buy coconut water in the store because you don't have a coconut palm at your house out in Boston, you know, because you don't want to, like, you want to just eat local food because you want to eat your author bias is that you believe only whole foods are good, and if you juice stuff, it's bad because now you're getting rid of some of the fiber, right? I mean, and also, you know, you could have an agenda in your videos, and yeah, I have an agenda. My agenda is to teach you guys what I've learned about fruits and vegetables, how to grow them, how to eat them, and, you know, I think they're all good to some certain extent, you know, and we need to just vary our diet, eat plenty of different fruits and vegetables, and not just say, like, oh, this one's bad. And yeah, overdone, anything could be bad for you. Everybody has certain allergies, could have certain, you know, problems inherently, genetically, that certain foods are better or worse for you. And then, you know, another thing that comes up is what studies are featured, right? I went to PubMed, searched coconut water for several hours, and there's many different studies on coconut water. Why did Dr. Gregor choose the ones he did to maybe, I mean, in some ways, make coconut water out to be maybe not the best thing in the world and that water's fine? Is that because he's super cheap and frugal and he just wants to be able to know that he's drinking water and he's doing all right for him, and he doesn't want to believe that, you know, buying a bottle of coconut water that's been shipped across the world from Thailand or from Brazil or from Mexico or from the Philippines, that he doesn't need that? Great. You know, I'm glad that if he wants to do that in his life, but when he's sharing this with other people and people look up to him, I think it's actually quite sad, personally, right? And, you know, on here I said, don't live your life off a single video. Just because he made a video on coconut water and it's not so favorable, doesn't mean coconut water is bad, right? And that's the other thing I have, another note I have is binary people. People think it's right or wrong, good or bad. There's only two options. Have more than two options. At least have three options, right? Have good, better, best. Or have gradients, you know, have like, this is bad, this is good, and coconut water, depending on the kind of coconut it is, could be bad or good. I mean, if it's on your gradient, maybe packaged coconut water is super bad. But, you know, coconut right off the tree is super good. And then you're just going to have gradients of where they are on your, you know, continuum. And then you could choose, like, I only drink coconut water that are between, like, this part, and I'll never drink bottled coconut water, right? And that's totally up to you. It's not just that there's only two choices. Either I drink coconut water sitting on the shelf at Whole Foods, or I just go get a bottle of water, right? I mean, I'd rather drink an HPP coconut water than just a bottle of water. And as you'll learn why when I go over some of the studies that I'm going to share with you guys. So the other thing is his primary study that he related to in the episode uses Vita Coco water, which is, you know, a heat process coconut water. I already mentioned that before, but also has additives. So I don't recommend actually Vita Coco. Anyway, some of the studies that I found, and links are all down below if you want to review these documents yourself. Coconut water best for maintaining periodontal ligaments. So what's that mean in fancy words, right? Basically, they found that whether you're preserving human tissues, whether that's a teeth or maybe even like your finger or liver tissue or other things, right? If you stored that liver tissue in coconut water, it would store better, keep longer, it would stay more fresh, right? For longer than just storing it in regular water. So then if you have to, like, if you got a finger cut off, put it in coconut water, take it to the hospital so they can sew it back on, there's a big and more likely chance that it's going to survive and still be alive when they sew it back on you. Or whether that's your tooth that gets knocked out and you want to get your tooth put back in, right? Stored in coconut water. Did he tell you that? No, right? And think about it. If coconut water is such a good beverage, right, to store your body parts in if they get cut off or something, or they're getting transported, right? What is it doing to you when it's actually you're drinking it? It's preserving or helping you, in my opinion, right? There's plant cytokines in the coconut water that are anti-aging for the coconut, and I believe they are also anti-aging for us, although there's no documented science that I'm aware of on that. Number 2, resuscitation of rats, more effective, and liver kidney damage less with coconut water. Once again, links down below. You can kind of figure out what that means. Basically, coconut water is good for your liver and kidneys in rats, if you're a rat watching this. Next, young coconut water possesses anti-inflammatory benefits. Young is better than mature, and coconut water has more salicylic acid, which is basically the active component in aspirin. So that's like, what, a painkiller? It's in coconut water, and if you don't drink coconut water, you're not going to get this natural salicylic acid. Other plants, of course, have salicylic acid in it too, but it's like, did he talk about this? No. 4, coconut water is protective against maternal high-fat diet-induced changes, right? So that's if you're pregnant, if you have high fat, coconut water may be helpful. Another study, why didn't he show that? Then if he just showed that study, then maybe he thinks, oh, coconut water is good, I'm going to drink it. Instead, he showed another one. Number 5, coconut water best preserves graft tissues for transplants. We kind of covered that in number 1. Number 6, green coconut water contains anti-cancer peptides. Yes, man, plant foods. They're anti-cancer, whether that's, peppers, or whether that's the allium family, whether that's the kale, or whether it's the coconuts. Plant foods have anti-cancer properties, many of them. And if you stop drinking coconut water because of Gregor's video, you're not going to get some of the anti-cancer properties in the coconut water. I'd probably rather eat kale or eat some garlic and onions for the anti-cancer properties, but that's just yet another benefit that has been fully scientifically researched and proven. Why didn't he cover that video? I don't know. All right, number 7 is coconut can protect liver from oxidative damage. So if it's protecting your liver from oxidative damage, what does that mean? It has antioxidants in there, right? Number 8, coconut water contains antioxidants. Duh. Number 9, this one was very interesting. It's called bucolalysis, which I'm not a doctor, so I don't know how to pronounce it, but it says young coconut water, rhinosalicylic for urinary stone dissolution. Anyways, coconut water in their test has dissolved urinary stones. And if you're not drinking coconut water, maybe you're going to have more urinary stones. I don't know. And then there's another one, is coconut water as a sports drink. And actually in this scientific study, it shows that there's actually an improvement compared to, just a standard sports drink, but they didn't actually test it against water. But why didn't Gregor show this, study instead of the one he chose, I can't really tell you. And the other thing is that they use coconuts as IVs. That's like where they pop a coconut on the battlefield and they just pump it right into you. And if it's so close, and you can't do that with water, you don't do that with water, it's going to imbalance you. But you could do that with coconuts. So I personally think it's just really sad, the recent video that Dr. Gregor put out. And everybody's got their agenda. I want you guys to be aware of people's agendas. My agenda is to get you to eat more fruits and vegetables, or even droops like coconuts, and find out what's good for you. And just because there's one person made one video that said something's bad, don't necessarily believe them. And what's the worst thing that could happen if you drink coconut water versus buying water? Like if you go to if I'm traveling, right? Here's a classic. If I'm traveling and I need to get hydrated, right? So number 1, don't mess around with dehydration. Dehydration is not a good thing to do at any times. I notice when I'm not fully hydrated, I don't operate at my peak potential. And I know a lot of people walk around really in a dehydrated state. So if I'm traveling and I'm not home and I make juices, then I could go into the health food store and have a choice. Am I buying bottled water, or am I going to buy coconut water? Well, generally I like to buy coconut water instead of bottled water because, with the coconut water, besides being water, right, because coconut water is water, but it's filtered by the plant, the coconut palm, instead of by a filter, which is like the bottle we're already buying. But in addition, you're getting other things. So you're getting antioxidants, as I mentioned. You know, you're getting minerals that are in an absorbable form for us in a, I think, pretty good ratio, you know, more so than a water you might be buying that might be high in total dissolved solids that may potentially cause calcification. You're getting vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. And if you're getting an HPP water, right, it's going to have more of that. And the HPP water is going to have the active enzymes that could help do things in your body. Or if you're getting a fresh coconut, even better yet, right? That's just the best way to do it. So, I mean, these are my opinions that I'm sharing with you guys. Once again, links down below to all the different studies that I referenced and shared in this episode so that you guys could make your own decision. So that's pretty much it for this episode. You know, hope you guys have learned my opinions on the coconuts. And once again, I'll post links down below to some of the videos I've done on coconuts, how to pick a coconut, the best coconut water. You know, it's one of my favorite foods on the planet, and just because Gregor put out a video, as much as I agree with him on a lot of things, I'm not going to stop drinking coconut water just because of his one video, because I think there are huge benefits, and the coconut hydration is a huge part of my healthy diet. So instead of drinking regular water, I personally think coconut water is a lot more beneficial. Of course, I want you guys to do the best you can. You know, I'd rather make fresh vegetable juices than drink, you know, a coconut water that's been shipped over from Thailand out of my fresh vegetables from my backyard, because we want to get these living waters in us, whether it's from the coconut or other amazing plant foods. So if you guys enjoy this rant style format, like this video, hey, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. Also be sure to share this with somebody else that may think coconut water is no good because the Dr. Gregor said so. Also be sure to click that subscribe button right down below to get notified of my new and upcoming episodes that are coming out every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up or what you'll be learning on my YouTube channel. And be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 500 episodes at this time teach you guys all the benefits and why you should be eating more fresh fruits and vegetables in your diet. So with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRAW.com. We'll see you next time. And until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables and coconut water. They're always the best.